Ahoy hoy, I am Plannerwalk, and I remembered to unmute, so I don't need to be reminded. That's good.
Plannerwalk, unmute. Make sure you unmute, Plannerwalk.
Alright, so I have a new look to my streams, which I was working on that about half an hour to an hour ago. CSS is a pain, I will tell you that. So let me switch to... Looks a little bit different now because I modified the side chat and I also added some trans colors there. I'm not sure if I'm overdoing the trans colors thing. We'll see. Anyway, I am going to bring up FTFE so that we can... There we go.
That's what she said.
Anyway, so we've got FTFE here who will be helping me with questions and... Yeah.
So first question is, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
42.
Yeah, but what's the actual question?
The question?
Yeah. Well, 42 is the answer. What's the question?
Father's Day.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
African or European?
God damn it!
Alright, so I've already gotten a question, so let me get to that. Simon Mitchin... Well, I've already gotten a super chat, so I'll get to that before it disappears off my screen. So Simon Mitchiner said, my only question would be, are you happy? If you can answer that with a yes, then nothing else really matters. And yeah, I am happy. Like, if I wasn't happy, I wouldn't be doing it, you know? That's... If it was something that made me unhappy, I would not be doing it because, like, at the end of the day, I'm trying to be as happy as I can be. So, yeah. I do have another sort of general sentiment that I want to talk about, because one of the things that a lot of people said is, they said something along the lines of, oh, why does this matter? Why does it matter what your sexuality is or what your gender identity is? And to me, the reason why it matters, at least, honestly, to me, my sexuality doesn't matter as much as my gender identity, but I'll still talk a bit about that. The reason why it matters to me is because, or as a creator, why I talk about this kind of stuff is because I know that a lot of people don't have a grasp on their sexuality, or are wanting to have someone that they can identify with. Now, I know that when I come out as trans, I'm basically a lot of cis males won't be able to identify with me as much because, you know, I'm not a cis male. But it's something where if I can help people maybe relate to me, by being more authentic, then I think that's a good thing. In fact, I know that there are people that have said, I really like that term hetero-flexible, and being able to describe my experiences has helped them work out their own experiences. As for transitioning, or not so much transitioning, but saying that I'm trans, that's more so to be able to say, hey, look, this is why I'm going to look different in my videos from now on. I might be wearing something like this, or I have some super femme stuff as well. So, and that, like, there's one thing that has like little hearts down the center that I've got. It's like a really cute top. So that's, and I'll also be wearing chokers like this one. And some other stuff, I don't know. I haven't figured it out. Anyway, I think that's the main thing. You look
gorgeous, Plannerwalk, that's all that matters.
That is true. Anyway.
Do you see that question by Pentalica, and are you okay with that kind of question?
Pentalica, honest question, which public restroom will you use? The male restroom or the female restroom? Depends. So, as I mentioned in my video, I am well, I'm just going to say gender fluid, so rather than going into the whole non-Newtonian stuff at the moment.
I prefer the non-Newtonian gender fluid. It sounds cool.
Well, exactly. That's why that's one of the reasons why I call myself a non-Newtonian gender fluid, and because like I have had periods where like there was one time where I thought that I was just like a binary trans person. I was starting to think that because I was presenting femme all the time. The only time where I didn't was to actually make videos. So I generally, I am kind of terrified of going to the toilets in public because on one hand, I can go to the women's restroom and there may be people that don't want me to go in there and would rather me stay out. On the other hand, I can go to the men's restroom and have possible, also have, weird looks from people, or get assaulted or whatever. I know it's unlikely to happen, but both of those, there are possibilities. So it's one of them things where I generally go into, like, if I'm presenting feminine, I will generally use the women's restroom. If I'm presenting masculine, I will use the men's restroom. So yeah. I am going to get to the super chats now because I have got 4 of them.
Boom. So
Turing Test 2 for £50. That is a lot of money. How do you even... I
think that's about 2 trillion of your New Zealand dollars, something like that.
Something like that. A little something towards the camera fund. Thank you. Yes, that is something that So, I just realised that I didn't turn the heat pump on. It'll be fine, though. It's not like it's too important. But yes, so that is something that I am... Oh yeah, I'll talk about the new computer that I'm... So basically, old computer isn't doing so hot. It likes to make a lot of noises, and I'm hoping that it doesn't decide to make the noise that it has been making. Because I added a bit more weight to the fan. However, this has had a bit of an adverse effect that occasionally it'll make a lot of noise. Because I think what happens is the heat coming out of the fan sort of makes the blue tack a little more, a little less viscous, and so then the centrifugal force of it pushes it out, and then you have blue tack that is, hitting everything. So,
well, the real problem, right, is that because you live in the Shire, you're constantly under attack by giant eagles, and that affects the heat pump much more.
Yeah, probably as well. So yeah,
it is the Shire, right? New Zealand is where the hobbits are from. I'm sure that's how it works.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I am getting a new computer. It will cost about $3,000. That's New Zealand dollars. So I don't know, like $5 US.
About 20 pence in British pounds.
Yeah, but that will be if I go to my Gmail, and I got an email about it, which I need to... oh, that's not the right... Wait. That's on the next page. Alrighty. Okay. Wait, there we go.
Out of your super chats, I only really see one question. And that's from Luchu.
Yeah.
$299 says, what made you get the change?
Yep. I will. Yeah, I'll answer that right now. Actually, so what made me? Let me actually bring up the question so that I can see what. So we just. Oh, wow. There we go. From what made me get the change? That's okay. That's a very ambiguously asked question. If you're wondering what made me decide to start HRT, that was a combination of factors. The main one being receding hairline. That is something that I have been worrying about for ages, and yeah, that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and so I know that there's options like finasteride, I think it is, but I do know that estrogen can also reverse that. That is, if you're wondering what made me decide that I'm trans in the first place, then that is a big that has a lot of base. The simple answer.
It's a big question.
Yeah, the simple answer is gender euphoria. Experiencing gender euphoria and experiencing what probably can be described as gender dysphoria at the request of being asked to present a certain way that I didn't necessarily want to present. That sort of made me go, okay, I think I'm trans, you know, and that's what I think. Yeah. Anyway, just to talk about my computer. So I'm getting a case. That's important. The CPU will be 7600X AMD. And the graphics card will be an RTX 3050. Those are the main things. I'm also going to get DDR5 memory, but I'm not exactly sure whether it's 2 units of 32 gig or 2 units of 16 gig. It's a little bit ambiguous in that thing. Anyway, there's a lot of super chats. They are coming in thick and fast. I did not expect this many super chats.
Support's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, Ableist for 550 Canadian dollars said, "Be happy, be safe, be healthy, hugs," and a lot of trans and pride emojis. So, yes, thank you for that. I will be sure to be happy, be safe, and be healthy, and I will hug everyone when I get the opportunity. L Snake BWB for 22 euros. Thank you. That there's no message attached to it. I don't know if you meant to attach a message, but that is very much appreciated.
Can I just say something, guys? If you have specific questions for Planner Walk, I'm trying to get all the questions so that I can put them to Planner Walk. It'd be really helpful if you've got a question for Planner Walk. If you tag me in the chat, it's just going to help me get them so that I can put them for Planner Walk. So if you do have a question, just at FTFE and then ask the question, and I'm putting it all to the side so Planner Walk can get to them. Okay, thank you.
All right. Musical Boy 93 said, "Happy Pride Month, Planner. I don't have any questions. I just want to wish you the best and say that you're a beautiful soul. I've learned to watching your videos, so thanks for educating me." No problem. And I plan to continue educating people. I also want to delve more into some more interesting content. Unfortunately, Flat Earth is the thing that people want to watch. Even if some people say, "Oh, it's old," it's like, yeah, but that's the thing that people click on. But yeah, I do want to get to some more interesting topics, like talking about gender, because I think I have some unique perspectives on that, or at least I understand it a bit differently to a lot of people. Because yeah, we have Zoe B. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Holy! No way!
What?
Zoe B. No way! Thank you! Just wanted to pop in and send some love your way. My heart is so happy for you. Here's to a future full of gender joy. Thank you! I went to her channel and it was the person that I thought it was going to be. No way! Thank you so much. Cool. Yeah,
Hi Zoe B, thank you for coming by and showing support. Yeah, I've seen your channel before. Awesome.
Yeah, I really liked the video in defense of inefficiency. That was a pretty. I wasn't when I was watching that video. I was playing Minecraft, so yeah, you didn't quite call me out on that. West Side Girl React. Oh, that was an update that I didn't. West Side Girl React says, I wish you the best. I just want to plug my channel. I don't know if I know your channel. Yeah, I don't think I've seen you before. But, yeah. I'm not going to not going to complain about that or anything. Oh, Tiny Captain says, what do you mean by looking different? To me, you always look like the same awesome person, however you look. What do I mean? Yeah, so I find that there are certain... When you present as certain genders, there's certain expectations for you to look a certain way. Like, so when you're presenting feminine... It's really, you can't really say that there's one particular thing one particular way that you've got to look. However, there are certain cues that people pick up on. So, if you're wearing makeup, for example, that's more feminine, and you're more likely to be, people are more likely to call you a woman. If you're, I don't know, if you've got a beard, people are likely to say, you're a man. There are these expectations that people have, and to me, I want to look more feminine. I don't mind looking more masculine at times, but that can often be achieved by things like clothing, wearing certain things, or even how you like brushing my hair changes a whole lot. Wearing glasses makes me look more feminine. Depending on the type of glasses. If I wear sunglasses, then I look more masculine. There's all these different things. Alright, Janosch Tekak said, I need to come out too. I'm half lesbian. I like women, but I don't want to be one. But I support your choice. Strike that. I support your identity. I'm not entirely sure what...
I think they're just supporting you whilst maybe being still unsure of their entire identity, but it's clear they're supporting you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I think I know.
There may be some language barrier with Janos, obviously, because his first language isn't English.
Yeah, I think
their first language. I apologize.
I think I know what they mean. So, I think they mean that they're assigned female at birth, but maybe they don't want to be that. So yeah, I don't know. If you want to clarify, feel free to. Anyway,
lovely to see the support you're getting.
Yeah, I have just gone down to the bottom. Oh geez, there's way too many super chats coming through. Industrial.
Do you want me to ask some of the questions that are outside of super chats, and then you come back to super chats?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because there is quite a few. Charlie Redpath, he's asked a few times, how do you cope with all the anti-LGBTQIA plus stuff, especially anti-trans? Because there does seem to be quite a lot of it around at the moment. Is that affecting you at all?
Oh, yes, it is depressing to see that. Because there are a lot of sentiments, anti-trans sentiments, especially on Twitter. Twitter is one of those hellscapes that I like it, but I also dislike it, especially more so now that my whole feed is just...
yeah, the algorithm's picked up a certain thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, so it is depressing to see. I feel like it's gotten way too extreme, and it's one of those things where it's... I want to know how to combat that. And that's because there is this whole thing, like Jordan Peterson, for example. I've seen him a lot on my feed, and he's just gone off the deep end. I'm not even sure that he's all there. So, yeah, it is very, very unsettling to me. And my big hope at the moment is because we're going into election season here in New Zealand, and I just hope that it doesn't come up in this election, which it shouldn't, but you can never really know. So that's something that I'm going to hope hopefully not have to worry about this election. Next election cycle is my big worry. I'm just hoping that nothing... I'm just hoping that it blows over in the next couple of years and we get back to people being at least relatively accepting. Because back a few years ago, I was thinking, finally, people are starting to understand all this. And then it just took a downward turn after they got over the CRT stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of craziness around the whole thing at the moment, which makes it very hard to kind of, want to be who you are in the way that things are being portrayed. And when the algorithm's promoting a lot of people that are very, anti-LGBTQ, it's not nice to see.
Yeah.
Furious Fur asks, did you see Emily's recent announcement from Linus Tech Tips?
Yeah, a few people have linked that to me or shown me a screenshot at least. So I haven't actually seen the video itself, but I have seen the announcement. And,
fair play to them.
Is she right? I'm not... She, her,
yeah, and I want to say this way here, if I accidentally misgender you, Planner, you know that I don't mean anything by it.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I'm 100% a supporter, but I think it's just the way that our brains are almost programmed in the world we live in. And, when I met you, my brain kind of assigned a masculine identity to you.
Yes.
Which makes it hard for me, even though I obviously, I understand it makes it still hard for my brain to sometimes say the right thing. And when I'm talking to my wife about you, I accidentally keep saying he. And, I catch myself instantly, but it's just because that's, my brain assigned that to you, and it's very hard to kind of reprogram that. So please don't be offended if I accidentally misgender you. That is obviously not my intention.
Yeah, that is actually something that I do want to address, because there's a lot of people that do worry about misgendering. And so I did used to use any all pronouns. In fact, I do remember, back a while back, I did get annoyed when people would call me she or assume that I was feminine. And it was because... I think it was because I wanted to be... I desperately didn't want to be seen as gay because a lot of the homophobia growing up, so I got annoyed at that kind of thing. Even though now, it does not faze me one bit. So... In fact, I get gender euphoria when people use she, her pronouns. So yeah,
there is a few questions that are what is the correct pronouns that they should use when talking to you and referring to you. What would you feel the most comfortable with?
She, they,
I guess is the right question.
Yeah, so
she, they,
and as I said, sometimes he really depends on. So, for example, some people, they're not used to using she, they. So, in that instance, it's fine. I know that there are some people that get very annoyed if you misgender them at all. For me, I don't really get too annoyed as long as you're not trying to do it maliciously.
Yeah, as long as it's not kind of on purpose, I think everyone has to understand that misgendering people is going to happen by accident, because it is just the way that people's brains are programmed and stuff. And, it's going to come out. Sometimes you're going to use the wrong pronoun in a certain situation that is maybe not the gender pronoun that person attaches to. And I don't think you have to feel bad about that, as long as, like you said, it's not something that's being done intentionally or maliciously,
Yeah, exactly. What else have we got here? I'll read some of the super chats because they keep on. There's way too many. How do you deal with this fight?
It's amazing. I cry. I'm not lying. There's been several streams where the super chats have made me cry.
I personally get a big smile across my face because it's one of them things where there was a time in my life where I tried to not cry because I was actually I was a much more emotional kid than most. So I did try to not cry as much. And that is something that has kind of still stuck with me. So, but there are occasionally times when it's like, yeah, this is bringing a tear to my eye. Right, not right now, but like trying to remember the movie Endgame. That was something that was a real tearjerker. Oh, and Crisis Core. If you haven't played that game, I highly recommend it.
Wow, Crisis Core, good game.
Yeah. Anyway, Industrial Nerd for $2 says, "No matter the shape of the Earth, I love you both." Thank you, Industrial Nerd. I love everyone in the chat. I love you too.
DC doesn't love you, but we love you.
Thomas Gallipoli says, Planet Walker, I hope you'll have happiness and respect. I hope so too. So far, the happiness thing is, I've got that nailed down. The respect thing, seems like I've mostly got that. There are a few people that didn't like me coming out, but that's par for the course, really. Joe,
they know where the unsubscribe button is. Bye.
Joe Breezy Jr. says, "You do you. I've enjoyed your content for the last few years or so. Good stuff. Thank you. I am glad that it is actually wild to me that there are a lot of people that have supported me over the past few years, especially when the Nigel Cheesy Hands video came out. That one, I did not expect that to do as well as it did, but it...
that is amazing, that video. I love it.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops, yeah.
Yeah, what else have we got? Oh, Dave McKeegan says, for £20 says...
Pounds, yep.
You're happy and all that, and that's all that matters. We'll all continue to support you, and yeah, thank you. It's I think that the main thing is that I'm like, here's a bit of behind the scenes. So one of the things that made it hard to record videos sometimes is the gender euphoria, or not wanting to let go of that, if you know what I mean. So I'd, be wearing really feminine clothing, and I didn't want to change into masculine clothing to record a video. So I was like, oh, but I want to make a video, but like I don't want to change into masculine clothing. I eventually worked out that there's a particular coat that I've got that looks, I suppose it can be used in a masculine-ish way. It looks kind of fashionable. I just use that as an excuse to not change. If you're wondering why there are several videos where I wear the coat with the thing around the sort of fur bit around here, that's why.
For me, I've got the benefit of being like a 40-year-old dad, so basically I wear shorts and t-shirt and that's it. So, I don't get to decide my fashion sense. As a 40-year-old dad, I am only allowed to wear combat-style shorts and t-shirts. That's it. Apparently it's written into law, so I'm okay. You okay for a couple more questions?
Oh, absolutely. I've gone through all the super chats, so...
Yep. And thank you guys for the support for Planar. It makes me extremely happy. Robert Petrie asks, are you still intact?
Still intact?
I think he's referring to bottom surgery.
Yeah, I am still intact. As I said in my video, like any kind of surgery that I may or may not get, I'm going to wait. Firstly, I need to talk to trans people about their experiences with surgery, especially considering that there has been a big campaign to make to really demonize all surgeries. So I think that it's really important for trans people who have gone through surgery. I know that a lot of trans people won't want to talk about their surgeries, but if you're comfortable with talking about your surgeries and you've gone through a surgery, please do talk about it, because there is you've probably seen the thing when it comes to they love to talk about phalloplasty, because essentially what that is it's taking a section of like your arm or even your thigh and using that to basically construct a penis. I know people that want to go through that procedure. They try to make it look as gruesome as possible, especially by using photos of just after they've had the surgery to try and give it try and give the people this idea that it's going to, mutilate you for life. But that is just after the surgery. I've seen photos of people that have gone through phalloplasty, and you wouldn't even notice that their arm has had. Sure, they're not going to be able to grow hair on their arm, as far as I know, they were not going to be able to grow hair on the arm where they took the flesh from. But they just get tattoos or something. You'll see some people with a tattoo on their arm, and it looks fine. I wouldn't have even noticed. Personally,
surgery's always going to look gnarly, isn't it? But
yeah. Personally, if I was a trans man, I would probably want to go for my leg because, I like my arms being the way that they are, and I'd probably just go for my leg, but that would just be me. I
suppose all this leads into the next question in there quite well, which is, has your mental health regarding the entire situation been looked at? Like, a few people have asked, like, do you have counselling and stuff that's supporting you in the ways that you feel like you need it?
I think I was supposed to get that, but I haven't really needed it, to be honest. I did think that going on estrogen, I would have a bit of a rocky mental state, but it's actually been a lot better. I can attribute some downturns in my mental state to just things that have happened or experiences that I've had. Nothing that I can go, that was weird. I don't know why I felt that way. Maybe it's just me not knowing quite how my emotions are being affected by things like mood swings. I never noticed mood swings the first time I went through puberty, so I don't know if I'll notice them the second time either.
Okay. Thank you. That's a really good answer. Vol Hunter question says, what is the difference between how you feel as someone that's transitioned and people's stereotypes, and does that affect you?
Okay, so people's stereotypes absolutely 100% will affect this, and I think there's a reason. So, as far as I understand it, and this is just a hypothesis, so this may be incorrect, but from what I understand, there's probably a section of the brain that associates certain things, a section of the brain that basically manages your gender. And it will associate certain things with your gender and associate certain things with other genders. The way that I understand it is that there are going to be things that, whether you want to associate them or not, your brain is just going to go, that's masculine, that's feminine. Like, cargo shorts, for example, might be a masculine thing, whereas frilly dresses is going to be a feminine thing. And so I believe that's probably... I'm not entirely sure why that is a thing, but it just is. It's probably due to how we've evolved to have things like culture or something like that, to try and go into evo-psych, but I'm not a big fan of that. But I'm not sure why, but yeah, there is like certain stereotypes that do affect me. That's why I want to have, no facial hair, for example. That is something that does bother me, that I've got to shave all the time. Even though I don't have to shave all the time, there are going to be people out there that will be like, oh yeah, you're just someone who looks really feminine, who has facial hair. But for me, it's different. Same goes for a lot of masculine traits that I notice about myself. It's like, I'd like to be able to change them, and that's one of the reasons why I started estrogen. I hope that answers the question.
I thought it did. Are You Kidding Me says, have any flirts been supportive of your transitioning?
Wasn't Rachie in the chat earlier?
Yeah. And I'm sure the decent flat earthers will support you. You know, there is some that are almost, not completely, but almost human. And I'm sure they would be supportive, but we don't want to ask people like Santos Bonacci and everything, because they're basically, three big turds wearing a trench coat pretending to be a human.
Yeah, I just saw Rachel's, this was back a few minutes ago, more than a few minutes ago, saying, I like the way you're willing to answer questions about it. I have questions, but I'm nervous they may come across as offensive and don't wish that. Just curious, but reluctant to ask, as long as you're happy. Yeah. So I don't think Rachie is trying to be... I don't think Rachie wants to be... I don't think Rachie has hatred towards trans people. In fact, I think I've spoken to her a little bit about trans people. Just there was a case a few years back of it was a big thing all over the news, which I briefly mentioned to Rachie. I'm gonna just
Neroloni. Sorry,
I was just gonna mention the super chats real quick, because there's a few more of them that have come through. El Snako BWB for €22. No question, but thank you very much for the super chat. Craving Beer for £5 says everybody should strive to be the best version of themselves. You seem to be doing it. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be someone who I want to be, rather than someone who other people want me to be. I'm being who I want me to be. Because here... Okay, I know I've been going on a lot of these tangents, but I feel like this helps answer questions that people may have.
Tangents? You just proved the flat earth. Sorry. Nathan, you got in my head for a sec there.
Yeah, but, what was it? Oh yeah, me being who I want to be. Because I noticed that one of the things that I was always trying to do when I was dressing masculinely was trying to work out what I think other people are going to want me to look like, rather than going, this is how I want me to look like. Because I didn't have any idea. It was like, okay, I'll just put on a hoodie, and that I might look cool, but I never really felt like I looked all that cool. Whereas I start wearing, to be fair, waistcoats. I love waistcoats now. Thank you to Josh Strife Hayes for recommending. There's a future video where I'm going to be wearing a waistcoat, but I'm not going to give away too much about it. There's actually a couple of ideas I have, but yeah, the waistcoat was an idea that I got from Josh, and it was one of the best ideas to confirm that yes, I am actually gender fluid and not just trans woman. Yeah, let me try and scroll down, because there is there is one from Jenosh saying the language barrier is only that you can put a few words into super chat and the HUF exchange rate has gone through the roof. Half lesbians smell attracted to women. Oh, it was intended as a joke. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I guess I'm half lesbian because I'm very attractive. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for that. Mark Smith saying the only good stereotypes are sharp bows to sheep. Sony Panasonic. I should probably... I don't know if the new computer that I'm getting will have a stereo. Hopefully it does have an inbuilt stereo. If not, I'm probably going to have to buy a stereo for it. I'm human...
This is my stereo.
Artie's 96, that's in the wrong order, for $5 says, I'm human and deserve to be loved, just like everyone. Not you, Gary. Else does, Morrissey. Are we talking about Gary Windbanger? Or Gary...
Yeah,
or Gary Why Bother?
I'm bringing out a new t-shirt soon that just says, I love you all, hashtag not you, Gary.
Fair. Ableist says, I came out as lesbian 41 years ago. The only people who mattered were my parents, and it turns out they always knew as I did. Happy Pride. Yeah.
If you're a good parent, you would know.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that like, hell, okay, I know that a hell of a lot of people in my chat will have been like, yeah, I already knew that you're a trans. It's like, yes, I already knew that you knew that I was trans already. Like, the video was actually mostly for people that didn't know, like the people that missed the April 1st video or didn't know whether the April 1st video was serious. One of my patrons, Vermont1777, they actually didn't realize that it was a video where I was technically, yes, actually coming out as trans, but because it was on April 1st, a lot of people either missed the part at the end where I say, by the way, the joke of this video is that I'm trans. A lot of people miss that because they don't watch the end. And there were also a lot of people that thought that the still cis though joke was a serious statement rather than a egg statement. I suppose a lot of people are asking about the egg joke. So basically, what an egg means, and why I've so much used this is an egg, despite it being a flat Earth. It's a flat Earth thing, so a lot of people assume that it's a flat Earth thing. However, it's also a trans thing. An egg is a trans person that does not yet know that they are trans. So when it came to the "This is an Egg" T-shirt, for a few videos, I actually wore it specifically because I was recording a video about trans stuff, like in the transphobia video. I wore it in that because that's peak. I don't know if it's irony, but it was planned, as well as in the video talking about transphobia against Gen Ives. I wore it specifically in that video because I was talking about trans stuff. And I thought, it's a good joke. Just way too many people got it when I was talking about Gen Ives. And then I decided, nope, that's not happening anymore.
Alright, we've got Naloni Prel, who asks, do you feel more feminine or masculine? And will you try to change your voice to match how you feel?
Yeah, so I do feel... It depends, really. Sometimes I do feel way too masculine, right? Internal voice and stuff can sometimes sound masculine, but hell, a lot of the times I feel more feminine, and it's like those are times when I want to just to be fair, it's a lot of time when I'm like, oh, my shark is all the way over there. When I'm cuddling so they're pronounced blowhigh, but I have named my one Blahaj. So I'm cuddling that, and I'll feel like super feminine. There's also just random times when I do feel really feminine, and it's just like an internal perception of myself. And when it comes to voice training, yes, I do want to go through voice training, but I want to be able to switch, right? I still want to be able to use this voice on command. Not the way that... Okay, so Abigail Thorne, love her, but her masculine voice does sound really forced now. It sounds like this! Nothing against...
People tell me I should get a masculine voice. That hurts.
Yeah, but... You're gonna...
Gareth Farman says that in parts of England you might be bullied, but in other parts you would be totally accepted. How are you being received in New Zealand?
Okay, so... So I think there's only one time where I have experienced something negative from someone, and that was when I was walking down the street one day. Was I wearing a skirt or not? I think I was just wearing pants. I think I was basically as... I don't know why, but they just yelled the F slur out their window at me as they're driving past, and it's like, okay, I just got a drive-by slurring. I don't know. I don't know what the point of that was. Yeah. And I know people in more conservative parts of the country that have had that happen to them. Like, I've got a friend who's a trans man, and he has had a lot of people yell the F slur at him. So
ridiculous.
Yeah. So
okay, bit of a lighter question then. What's the story behind your Area 51 sign?
Oh, so
a few people have asked that actually.
So that is there's a. You said it was a lighter question. That actually has a really depressing story behind it.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Fucked that one up, didn't I?
So that came. I inherited that a few years back. So essentially, my biological father, he died back in 2019, was it? Yeah, 2019. And going through his stuff, I noticed this Area 51 sign, and I was thinking, I am going to take that and put it in my videos. I asked my grandmother if that was okay, and she was like, yeah, that's fine. So I decided, okay, it'll be a perfect fit for my videos. And there are a couple of comments on really old videos of mine, something talking about Venus. I think he said, how do flirts explain Venus? Bananarama. My mum explained that joke to me, as well as another comment. So yeah, here's a fan of what I did. Supportive of that. I have not seen him since I was like, I have not seen him alive since I was 7. So yeah, that was a little bit. That's unfortunate, but what can you do? Life happens like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go through some of the super chats now.
Okie dokie.
So Deus Voltage, and it says celebrate this first super chat from Deus Voltage. So I don't know how to celebrate, but have loved your content for a while, and funnily enough, just as you came out as trans femme the other day too. This is pretty cool. Happy for you. So Deus Voltage is trans femme?
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, congratulations on coming out as trans femme. Yeah. There are a lot of. I do feel like my channel specifically has attracted a lot of trans femmes compared to the general population of Earth. Especially since I am a programmer. I've also talked about. I actually don't know. Like, I've talked about trans issues, so that might be another thing. Grom Beast G for €5. Thank you. This is a joke, but you don't want to put the sheep in your profile picture.
I think I need to clear something up for the British people watching. When Planar said that they were walking around wearing pants, they didn't mean underwear, okay? A few of you are concerned about that. I can see in the chat. Pants has a different meaning literally everywhere else, okay? See, I just misgendered. I apologize. They were not in their underwear. That is a fact.
I mean, I did have underwear on. It just wasn't the only thing that I was wearing. NA says, right on, I just see everyone as people, not Gary. Well, Gary is
Gary
is a rogue AI, isn't he?
Yeah, my problem is that I don't know how to program AI, and I tried. Gary was made. My bad.
Janosch Tekik says, I guess the only thing that was your choice is to come out and not. That's why I said I'd rather support your identity. And yeah, like it was a choice for me to come out, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, technically it's a choice to become trans, but it wasn't my choice to have gender euphoria from wearing a skirt. That was not something that I didn't decide one day that I'm going to get gender euphoria, because it sort of started as a joke, you know, and it's like, oh, I guess I actually like doing this. And that might be how a few other people... Like, I generally just recommend that people, try wearing some feminine clothes, maybe borrow some from a friend. If they don't like it, then, get the hell out of them. If you do like them, then, might be the path to exploring something new. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Especially seeing as, some people might live in more conservative parts of the world that have people that won't react kindly to that. So I understand if you don't want to do it. But if you're in a more liberal area, then, maybe try either putting on makeup or wearing some feminine clothing. And, that will be... You never know. Mr. 42 for €3 sent a thumbs up. Yep.
A lot of people are asking about the popcorn eating shark.
Oh yeah, Patrick Manella says popcorn eating shark. What's their name?
Oh, there we go.
Much love from Texas. So this is the popcorn eating shark. Right, little bugger. So that one is named Shork. So I have two blowhighs. The big one is named Blahaj, and this one is named Shork.
Blahaj and Shork. I like it.
Yeah. The reason why the big one is named Blahaj is because, unfortunately, Blowhigh it doesn't sound as funny as Blahaj, so I still wanted to call it Blahaj. To the dismay of every Swedish person in chat, which I know there is a few.
That's not how you pronounce it! By the way, Patrick McNiss, good surname there, part of the McNill clan. Gotta love that. Liz K says, do you plan to keep your channel about flirfs, or would you move more to trans topics? Plus, they wish you nothing but happiness.
Yeah, I am going to do both, really. In fact, I'm going to branch out. So, you may... I'm still going to keep one of the themes. One of the things that I'm going to record a video about, which is going to be in a waistcoat, is it's a video game that I've thought about what I might talk about when it comes to this video game. And I've thought of a few funny jokes, such as wearing the waistcoat.
Because jokes need to be funny. You don't want unfunny jokes. That's a problem.
I mean, I said an unfunny joke the other day, and someone just laughed. They're talking about how the first music was caveman banging rocks together, and I said, oh, so that was the first instance of rock music. One person groaned, the other person cracked up laughing. But yeah, one of the things I'm going to make a video about is it's going to be part of my bad ad series. And it's going to be Earth 2, because that is
Earth 2.
That is a thing that
scams.
Yeah, it is something that has several problems with it. The main problem being that in Earth 2, the Earth is both flat and round. That's going to be an issue. The main issue is to do with how projections, right? And they use one of the worst projections to use if you're going to be buying tiles on a grid system. Though they would have been much better to use, because one of the easiest things to map.
Apologies.
One of the easiest things to do to map a cube onto a sphere is to map a cube onto a sphere. By just shrinking the edges down to... And I don't think you get as much distortion as the Mercator projection. So yeah, that'll be an interesting intersection of scams. Well, there'll be an interesting intersection of pyramid schemes, and video games, and flat Earth and globe Earth and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be an interesting video. If you do want to find out more about Earth 2 in the meantime, Callum Upton has some great videos on it.
Claire View says, what would be the one thing you want to understand about transitioning in regards to discussing the issue?
I'm not sure I quite understand the question.
What would be the one thing you want to understand about transitioning? Maybe they're asking, is there things that you're still unsure about?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's anything, because I've looked into because if you're going to transition, you want to make sure that you're going to be certain of things. I guess like just progesterone is one of the things I want to understand how that works, because like I suppose like the whole hormone balance is a confusing thing.
Is there things that you feel still unsure about, not just medically, but I guess within yourself?
For myself, there's nothing really that I'm unsure about.
I like that. That's good to hear.
As for like medically, there's a whole lot of things, and I think it's just a lack of knowledge. Like I am wondering when tenor stage 2, what that is. For example, when it comes to puberty.
Sorry, Claire's just clarified what they meant. Is there anything that you would like everyone else to understand about transitioning?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a very different question.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying, Claire.
I think if I had to try and make a point, and I think I made this point in my video, is that it is a feeling. When you are trans, at least for me, it has been a feeling that I am trans. It's not just a thing of wearing different clothes or something. It is much more of an innate feeling rather than what other people try and paint it as. I'm trying to think of some things that people try and paint it as. Being a little bit feminine or something like that. It is very much an innate thing and it's very hard to describe. And so trying to get people to justify why they feel that way, I feel it's very counterproductive to the conversation, because there isn't really a justification for feeling certain ways, I think. So that's what I'd like people to understand the most, because it is very frustrating having to deal with people that, say, justify this to me, and it's like, well, I can try and give arguments to try and convince you, but it's at the end of the day, you're not going to understand because you don't have the experience of being trans. Well, maybe you do, but you just don't. Maybe it's something that you are trying to actively suppress. There's a lot of, and there is also not one trans experience as well. That is important to stress. My experience may be different to other people's experiences, and that is why for sometimes I got a bit of imposter syndrome, because it's like, well, my experience doesn't match up with all these other trans people's experiences, so I had to work that out in my head, and it's like, well, obviously there's not one singular trans experience. Like I didn't have the intense gender dysphoria growing up that a lot of people had in their childhood. Like Jessie Gender, for example, her dysphoria growing up sounds awful. But yeah. I'm going to answer a few super chats. Iris Valentine says, I see your face, or saw your face there. You must have seen one of them. Iris Valentine says, can you tell us about the dress go spinny moment? Also, so happy to welcome one of my favourite YouTubers to the queer community. Yes, I did have a dress go spinny moment. Well, the first dress I got, the skirt section was too short for me to do spinny, but I did think, okay, I have heard about this skirt go spinny, so I got a skirt that could go spinny, and yes, it went spinny, and I love skirts that can go spinny, and it's the only skirt that I want to get, except for like a really long skirt that matches a particular vibe that I have. So yes, skirts, I like them. Sometimes though, it is nice to just wear skinny jeans or whatever.
Sorry, I just got. Oh no, it's Andy in the chat. Is basically pointing out that he's asked. He wants me to explain to everyone how I've transitioned from a fat person to a not fat person. Not quite the same, but yeah.
Well, you see, that's getting rid of boobs, right?
Yeah. I could have just given you mine, right?
Yeah, mine. You can actually. So, firstly, in the video, you'll notice that I had a bit of cleavage. That was the result of this. This is boob tape. I
was impressed.
A friend of mine gave it to me because they were wanting to wear the boob tape to flatten their chest, but it didn't quite work for them. So I decided. They said, "Oh yeah, I've got some boob tape that you can have." So I just put it on to get cleavage, whilst because at the moment, you know, I don't. They're not big enough to be able to just squeeze them. Ow. They are really sore at the moment.
You don't do that if it hurts.
Yeah, both of them are really sore at the moment. It's probably a good sign, to be honest. But yeah, I
did see someone in the chat earlier that was like, they love Plan a Walk, they love boobs, everything's good.
Yeah. Anyway, Ine for 666 says, please remind FTFE that the Green Lantern sucks. Just ask Ryan Reynolds.
Just like Ryan Reynolds, we understand that the Green Lantern movie never actually happened. Okay? That is, I don't know, it's some kind of mass delusion, but there was no Green Lantern movie in 2011. It didn't happen. I don't care if you think you went to the cinema and saw it in 3D. There was no Green Lantern movie starring Ryan Reynolds. It did not happen. Okay? Goodness me. In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light.
Brenda, I believe Brenda is trans, says, congratulations, Planner. I support you fully, wish you all the best. We should all support each other. Yeah, and that's actually like really annoying, like when it comes to Twitter drama. I have seen so much Twitter drama between like the Jesse Gender has been getting into Twitter drama lately with
drama's fun.
Drama can be fun, but when you're part of a marginalized community, drama is not very productive. Especially like there's this whole thing with like Jesse Gender, Valsh, whole lot of other people. Shark30 was the main person at the center of it, even though I think Valsh was also like a main person at the center. Most people focused on the Shark30 part, and it is annoying because it's like a lot of people dislike Valsh. He's actually pronounced Vosh, but a lot of people dislike him, and I think that he's edgy, but I think that probably a little bit better for like at least like firstly at least he's not Sargon of Akkad or or Tim Pool or anyone like that. I don't think he's necessarily transphobic. I think he like at worst he has terrible ace takes from what I've heard. But don't we all? What was Derek Brown says, been watching your content for ages and you've always reminded me of my oldest daughter who came out as trans 9 years ago at uni. It's been such a positive journey for her. I hope it is for you too. Yeah. I think, like, my whole goal is to make this positive. Obviously, there will be drama, like, eventually. There'll be flat earthers that will cut. You know, we've got. I just saw a message that was hidden by FTFE saying confused globy world where everything is crooked backward or the opposite.
Not you, Gary.
Pretty sure that's. Pretty sure he's describing flat Earth there, where, you know.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing with flat Earth. Flat Earth is really confusing because it's like objects. You know, apparently they disappear over the horizon because of perspective, but also we can see too far. Huh?
Magic, I guess. So, Child of Robo asked what I think is a very important question, and that's how do you gain the confidence to go and buy more feminine clothes? They are asking for a friend.
That is a good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just think back because now I just here's how I do it right now. I just walk into the store, find something that I like, and be like, "Cool, that's mine now," and walk out after paying for it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's basically my thought like the hardest thing for me to buy is if I'm buying something like bras, for example. That can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Also, like, women's underwear feels really nice. I don't know how it's so comfortable. I have no idea why. So that's something that's a little bit nerve-wracking to go ahead and buy. So those two things they're definitely nerve-wracking to buy. I just sort of I don't know how. I just don't half the time.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess in the world we're in, right, with, you know, it's so easy to buy stuff on Amazon. You know, something like that doesn't have to be hard. I mean, if someone feels like they want to dress in a certain way, but they're worried about going into a shop, they don't have to worry about that these days. But like someone in the chat said, the people in the shop don't care.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a lingerie shop and a dude walks in and was like, I want to buy some bras and panties, they don't care. They've seen it all before. They want to give you that stuff and make you happy, you know?
Yeah. As for just regular feminine clothing, that's something that I don't know, I've just gotten over that. As I said, I'm trying to remember back to the first time. I think I went in with a friend, and that kind of helped. So you know, maybe go in with a friend that knows, that knows you well, and you'll be able to hopefully. Actually, the first, my voice has just decided to take a dive. I don't know why. Maybe I haven't been talking. I haven't done a live stream like this for ages, so maybe that's why. And I've also been talking a lot. I don't know. I don't know. Like, maybe I've been able to be talking more coherently than I normally did, but that's also because I'm concentrating on talking more coherently. That's a sentence. Yeah. I don't know. Where was I going? Yes, like the first time I actually got a dress, I think the shopkeeper knew, and I was also going in there with friends who were like, you know, buy this, and it's like, okay, I'll buy that, and the shopkeeper was like, oh yeah, you could also get this, and it's like, okay, cool. She knew that I was getting it for myself as well. MB,
they don't care. You know, even if you're like, look, I don't know if this fits, tell me what a fit. They will help you. They really don't care. They want to make money by selling their clothes, and if you want to buy their clothes, they're going to sell you them. You know.
MB for £2. I am forgetting the symbols. There's too many Europeans and
come around here. Come sit my lap.
and European. What what are people? British people that donate stuff, and it's like, oh, what's this symbol? So I think this is £2 saying to plan a walk on your journey into fabulousness. And yes, I will continue to be fabulous. I wish I had glitter or confetti to just do the whole the whole thing where you just throw it up in the air, but I don't. I have sugar somewhere, but I don't want to clean that up afterwards. Sugar is very annoying to have to clean up.
Violet wants to say hello.
Ahoy hoy!
He said ahoy hoy.
Mark.
You alright? Have a good day?
Yeah.
Alright. Give a kiss and off you go. Go on, honey. You go out and play. I love you.
Mark Smith for two.
Sorry.
Mark Smith for $2 says Marvel is better than DC. I would have to agree. Probably. I have heard that there's some. I have heard that there are some good DC things. Like I think there's like Justice League thing, like the animated series. But like the movie, no
one's gonna lie that Marvel do movies better than DC. All right. Personally, I loved Zack Snyder stuff. Right, but no one's gonna deny that Marvel know how to make a £1 billion franchise. You know.
Yeah. When it comes to the TV shows, the problem is that it was trying to follow a sort of villain of the week format, whereas I think it would have been a lot stronger if it had have gone for a trying to, if you remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that would often follow a storyline over several episodes, and I think that would have worked much better than the Villain of the Week format, especially in The Flash. That would have...
Yeah.
Right,
Indigo, I think you've already answered this, but it's a question that has come up a few times in the chat, and can they ask your pronouns? They're also trans, and they're here to support you unconditionally.
As I said, she, they, sometimes he.
Cool. And would you say it's fair that you're not worried about people misgendering you? If you feel like if someone came up to you and they misgendered you, and it's not on purpose, it's not going to bother you, right? You'd probably just correct them, and it's not a thing, right? Yeah,
like honestly, half the time I won't even notice it.
Yeah. So, like me, guys, you don't need to be worried about misgendering someone if it's not an intentional thing. Somebody that has transitioned and has the pronouns that they want to use. If that's truly how they feel, they're not going to be mad at you for accidentally getting it wrong. As long as you're happy to correct yourself and you're not doing it maliciously, it's not an issue. Don't be afraid to be in a situation where you are going to accidentally misgender someone, because the world that we live in it's binary, right? It's been programmed into us from childbirth that there's male and female, there's masculine and there's feminine. And when you are presented with something initially, I think your brain just assigns one of those things to it, and it's very hard to get over that.
Yes, so, it's very hard to imagine 2 or even 1.5 or no 0.5 for example.
Yeah.
There was something that I was going to say, but I forgot. We'll just read out the AP Red super chat for £2, saying, "Have a coffee, tea, bus fare, nice bar of chocolate." Yeah, I have an egg here. This is an egg, and as you can see, it has cracked. This one actually cracked today. Whose egg does this belong to? Oh yeah, I remembered what it is. I think there has been this thing that has been perpetuated by the right wing, especially when it was around 2016. The whole Gamergate anti-SJW era.
Yeah.
And that was that. Basically, the whole thing was that they get mad at you if these alphabet people will get mad at you if you misgender them, and they'll just be irrationally angry. And it's like, well, I think everyone that I know can understand if you accidentally misgender them. So I find that I find that actually sometimes it can be. Sometimes the thing that you least expect to give someone gender dysphoria will give them gender dysphoria. It's like, I'm so sorry. If you mention to some trans people, if you mention, oh, my boobs are doing really nice, they'll get upset because they want bigger boobs, and they're upset that you have bigger boobs.
I think Nathan Thompson's in the chat, and can I just say, Nathan Thompson, piss off.
Where was Nathan Thompson? I didn't notice.
Be the change.
I'll be the change. I haven't seen any of their messages. I do not.
Just with the instant trans and homophobia, because he's such a lovely person.
Where was the? I am not. Maybe I. Hold on. I'm just going to switch to live chat, and maybe that will. Oh yeah, now I see it. I will answer the question though, saying, were you born gay or did you turn gay after years of hating truth and the creator? I wasn't. So, technically I was born gay, but in the same way that people tend to be born straight, right? Now, when I say gay, I basically don't actually mean I mean strong preference towards people of my gender, right? That is people that are more feminine. That's what I mean by gay. I used to be Christian, in case you didn't know. It was, the whole Bible in schools thing. I was big into that, and then I realized, oh wait, this doesn't make any sense. Especially when you find out that there are other religions out there that have multiple gods. I tried for a bit to basically have this whole religion of every god is real. But so yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't hating God or anything that made me the way that I am. It was just experience. Even if I was a Christian, I would have still eventually worked out that I was trans. There are several trans Christians out there. It's not a religious thing. It's just that religion tries to shame people, often at times, for being trans. For example, my friend that I mentioned earlier, who's a trans man, they were told that they're wrong for firstly being attracted to women, but then also he was trans, so that was also a thing that he was told that he was wrong for from his religion. What else have we got? Oh yes, super chat from Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam saying, no questions,
love the name,
all the friendship and support I can offer. Also, hi FTFE, hope you're well.
Thank you.
Got
a few more questions here.
Yeah, we actually...
This one's a really good one.
Yeah.
Limit Break says, how did you get over the anxiety of starting transitioning? Because I'm pretty sure I'm trans, but I'm so anxious to let my parents know so they can help me start the process.
So, my recommendation for everyone if you think you're trans, is to first try socially transitioning before doing any medical stuff. That was how I did it. Now, obviously, some people it's going to be better if they, instantly. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But generally, I would say that it's probably best to socially transition. You don't have to come out to everyone when you socially transition. It can just be a sort of thing where you try on a few skirts and then you decide that you like them. Eventually, you may need to come out to someone to help you, work out who you are. And eventually, if HRT is the thing that you want to do, then that was actually something. I didn't talk about this, but the decision for me to start HRT, because initially I was actually I don't think I want to start HRT. I can just, if I want to, have boobs, I'll just, wear a bra and put chicken fillets, and I still have chicken fillets. And that was something that I thought, that's what we call them. That was something that I was thinking, it'll be fine. That'll work. But then I heard about someone who wanted to microdose tea, and I was thinking, okay, well, maybe that would be an option. Maybe not necessarily microdosing, but, just going with the dosage that I feel will work for me. And so I looked into it. I contacted Gender Minorities Aotearoa. They are brilliant support if you're someone in New Zealand and you need support and you're trans and you might be questioning your identity. I would highly recommend shooting them an email and maybe asking them about it. I am very limited. I am a random YouTuber from a country that doesn't even exist. So, yeah, I am very limited in the help that I can give.
So they also ask, how do you actually start the path towards HRT?
The way that I did it, so first I contacted Gender Minorities Aotearoa, and they said to do so I will need to go into my GP. One of the things I was most concerned about, in case you don't know what a GP is because you're from America or someplace that doesn't have GPs, GP is like your local doctor, or general practitioner, is they're also called. So yeah, basically I went into them, said, hey, I want to start HRT, mentioned some of the stuff that that I was told by gender minorities, and they looked up the process, and the process was I had to go in for a psychiatric evaluation I'm not going to say where I had to go, but I had to go in for a psychiatric evaluation, and that took ages to get done. I only had to go in for one, but a lot of people will have to go in for two. I think there are some places where you can do informed consent, and I am very much in favour of informed consent for people over the age of 18. I think that should be an option. I probably would have started sooner if I had had the informed consent option. I'm going to just read out some of the super chats here.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, Abellis for 550 Canadian says, for trans people who are interested, there's a trans voice coach here in Saanich, British Columbia, Jess Gibbard. She's amazing. I think I remember someone who called...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard that name before.
Well, I'm not sure that I've heard that exact name, but I know someone that had a similar name, I'm pretty sure, that had the last name Gibbard, but probably no relation. James Hogarth for £5 says, have loved your videos for the past few years. Best wishes and always looking forward to your nail designs. Also, FTFE, please try to avoid any more accidents.
I would love to, honestly. Getting electrocuted isn't fun.
I bet it isn't. Also,
no, I just noticed that there's actually like little lightning bits on the bottom of my foot.
I do want to say, everyone's asking me how I am, but FTFE, are you happy in your gender?
I'm happy. I know who I am and what I am, and I'm happy as I am. I'm a male. I'm attracted to my wife with 2 kids. I don't think I've ever suffered from gender dysphoria in any way. But I understand that one of the most important things is being who you are.
Yeah.
Which is why I will always be an ally. I don't have any of the things that people that you go for. I don't have gender dysphoria. I don't have any of the anxiety relating to that. But I can be an ally and support you being who you are and love for being love. That's important, and that's how I will always stand.
I do want to say, though, you are not straight. You are emma-sexual.
Yeah, absolutely. I am only attracted to Emma.
I'm trying to think. Who else is there? There's a message retracted from Ableist. It's Ableist, right? I see it, and
yeah, Ableist.
Like, for some reason, my brain started going ableism. No, that's not a good thing. I'm not going to get into like things like that. Programmers are more accepting. Tech says programmers are more accepting because they know that left-handedness, sexual attraction, gender identity are switches in source code that can be flipped. Yeah, well, it's also
that's a way of describing it.
It's also we're all either furries or trans femmes, with very few exceptions. So if you're a programmer, you probably want to. You probably want to start working out which one of the two boxes you fit into, or if you're one of the few exceptions. Like, obviously, you've got like senior developers that are just, I don't even know what they're like. Okay, the third option is you have ancient wisdom that has only you can understand, and it's usually the legacy code. Oh no, it's Andy for £2 says, thanks for helping me talk to trans people. No problem. There was something I was going to get FTFE to manage, and I completely forgot to talk about this because I was going to have people come on. If obviously priority goes to channel members and patrons. I was going to personally bring them on if they appeared, but then I remembered I only have 2 monitors, so that makes it a little bit more difficult, unfortunately. So if there's anybody that has joined the Discord, I'll bring it. I'll have FTFE bring it in. I'll just respond to super chats, right? Because Sylv just sent in for $4.99 saying, I love your channel and all of Flat Earth videos, especially the Nigel Cheesy Hands one. By the way, I'm a trans femme furry programmer. I don't know what you mean. Oh yeah, you can be both as well. I personally am just trans femme, but I don't have problems with furries because, again, it's BU. I know there are a lot of people that will be accepting of trans people, but not of furries. Siggy Sigwald just became a member.
Siggy Sigwald.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that.
Siggy's awesome, by the way.
I feel like I've seen that name around.
He's recently bought me about 250 members on my channel. So. Ableist
says I removed the voice coach message I duplicated. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So Chemo Savoy asks, what are your intentions, or what are you trying to pursue or gain by making a such transition? What's the whole purpose in your life, and why the transition?
The point of the transition is to be more comfortable as myself. That is really the whole point. Obviously, there are. Because I know that I lost about 100 subscribers. They're climbing back now, I think. I'll have to check that, but I lost about 100 subscribers from making the coming out video, and I think that there's certain things that are going to be a little bit hard for me now that I'm trans, but there's also going to be things that may be a bit easier. For example, if I wanted, I can start an OnlyFans right now. In fact, here's something that I wanted to talk about. Okay, let me bring this up. Alright, so this is something that I'm going to be posting on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, be prepared for... So, if I have it hidden, then it will be a bit more lewd, so be prepared. But yeah, I'm going to post like things like this. Mostly for a couple of reasons. Eventually, people are going to leak pictures of me if I have even though there aren't many pictures, but I don't think anybody has pictures of me except for like one or two people. But eventually, one day someone is going to manage to get a hold of pictures through one means or another. And so it's like, I'll post pictures so that... Or people are just going to generate pictures of me. Yeah, that's probably my bigger concern, is people are going to generate pictures of me. So, I'll have my own pictures out there so you know what that looks like. Although I am going to be changing, so that may that may be more useful later on. But also, I know that people like this kind of picture where it's like, hell, one of the comments was, that midriff. And that is what I'm wearing. So here's a trick if you're wanting to show off your midriff.
People are asking me, no, I am not going to post a video in the same pose. Stop asking.
One of the tricks I've found if you want to show off your midriff is to lift your arms up, or at least that's what I what I do to.
Planet Walk giving modelling advice. Amazing, I love it.
Yeah, I should pursue a career in modelling. Honestly, I have done a bit of modelling. That's the thing. Although it was more just a catwalk modelling. I'm so tempted to go into notifications, but that'll be for later. Anyway, let me bring up FTFE rather than. I know people probably want to look at this photo a bit more, but you can find it on Twitter. Why am I getting so many notifications? On my phone. My phone is just buzzing a lot. Who's... whilst I bring up that, do you want to ask me a question?
Yeah, so Janos Takos says, what is your opinion on neo-pronouns and genders other than female, male, neutral, non-binary?
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what neo-pronouns is.
I will explain.
When it's like demon self and things like that. I'm not sure.
It's basically things like that. I think Zer is considered neo-pronouns, maybe. It's basically pronouns that are not widely accepted. I personally would like to just... I personally would like to just have they, them as a pronoun that everybody accepts. And there's two ways we can go about this, right? We can either go they, them as a pronoun that everyone accepts, or we can have adjectives to describe people. So I can say, so rather than saying he said something stupid, it would be Flurf said something stupid, or that is one option. That would be a way to use more descriptive language, because it's not because gender isn't really the most important thing that you can know about someone, right? That being said, so adjectives would be one way to go about it, but I'm not convinced that neo-pronouns are a good way. But if you use they, them, at least, then that is fine. Yeah. I will call you they, them. Because I met someone the other day that they had a pin that said e they, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna call you they them because I don't understand that e pronoun, and so
no. Okay. Hugh Jarsz says, what question do you hate getting? Love that.
Oh, what question do I hate? I don't think there's a question in particular that I hate getting. Obviously, there's a lot of people that ask, when are you getting the surgery? And when they say that, they mean, when are you cutting your dick off is one that I know that I get a lot, because it's like, here is the thing. When it comes to that, if I do ever decide to get bottom surgery, I am keeping the main part. I am keeping that. It would be fun to have both. I'm just not... Again, there's been a lot of demonization of surgeries, particularly trans surgeries. vaccines and trans surgeries by people generally on the right. I just saw a comment which made me laugh. So yeah, that is one thing that makes me hesitant. But I am going to keep the main part. But I may end up getting both, which would be cool. I think if that is possible, because again, I'd have to talk to trans people that I really want to talk to Kelly. Have you heard of Kelly?
Maybe.
She's
lead singer Stereophonics.
No. Trans woman on Twitter. Well, I mostly know her on Twitter. She's also on TikTok. She did this alt-right grift for a bit, but just right-wing grift for a bit. Geez, I got to step out of the left-wing thing because everyone's alt-right now. No, everyone's a Nazi. No, just kidding. But she's someone that I don't fully agree with her, but I feel like I can have a conversation with her. She's now moved away from the right. I genuinely want to ask her questions about, because she said that she's been on hormone blockers for like 7 years, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right to me. I want to probe a bit more there, because 7 years, that is that is, I think that's probably too long for, at least for puberty blockers, but like maybe, because I'm on Spyro, if you're wondering. Spyro is the puberty, or not is the testosterone blocker that I'm using.
No, Spyro is a little purple dragon that you played on PlayStation.
Spironolactone. Yeah. Oh yeah. I just saw Phoretic saying penile retentive vaginoplasty is a thing. Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm considering. But again, I want to wait a bit before I decide to go down that path. Certainly, I want to be at a point in my life where I have completed my, well, not so much completed, but if puberty has finished, basically, is where I want to be.
Yeah, you're crazy. You're choosing to go through puberty again.
Yeah, I just
I'll get. Rachel's got a really good question.
Okay.
She says, you said because you like skirts that go spinny and feeling euphoria in women's clothing. How do you realize that you were trans and not just a cross-dresser? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But a lot of people thought that was actually a good question.
Yeah, that is actually something that I had to sort of. That is something that confused me initially, right? Because there were people that said, like, because there were people that said, "Oh, you're not trans, you're just a cross-dresser." And I'm like, but I don't feel like just a cross-dresser. This feels like it's something different, and that's really what it is. It's just a feeling. There can be people that are just cross-dressers and will be fine with just dressing in clothes that are typically meant for the opposite gender, and that's fine. If that is you, that is completely valid. For me, it's something deeper than that, and it's very difficult to explain because even I don't fully understand it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I am going to.
That is all the questions that I've actually collected. Everything else is literally just outpourings of love and support for you.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got a few super chats to get through. Has anyone joined the Discord thing?
Oh, I don't know.
So I'll read a few super chats.
No.
And then, okay. Siggy Sigwald for 666 arses?
Yeah, arses. It's definitely 666 arses.
It says, congratulations on deciding to live your life in the most honest way. We are all here for you. Stay pagan and hail Sagan.
Hail Sagan.
Yeah, I agree, Hale Sagan. I don't know. I should probably have a conversation with Ocean Keltoy, but I want to have a conversation with Ocean Keltoy, but I don't know if I pissed them off on Twitter. So hopefully I can still arrange, because I have talked to them before. They do an amazing Jordan Peterson voice. If you haven't heard it before. But yeah, I because I have somewhat of an anti-theist bent to me, I probably annoyed them with that. So they didn't block me though, so always a possibility. But I'm interested in learning maybe a bit about pluralism because I want to know, want to understand where they're coming from a bit better. Anyway, Hugh Jarsz says, I don't care what anyone is as long as they aren't a Morris Marina enthusiast or a Manly Warringah supporter. I personally don't. I am personally neither of those. I'm not even a Francophile. So, you know, I do like baguettes though, and I do like garlic. I know garlic bread is an ace thing, but like I like garlic bread.
Garlic bread. Garlic bread.
I should cook some. I have some ace friends that I should probably cook some garlic bread for. Make it fancy as well with herbs and spices, and make it. And mate, how does it, like? Okay, I want to ask if anyone's tried ginger on garlic bread. Like, if you have crushed garlic and like have crushed garlic and ginger, mix that together with your butter, put that on bread, and with whatever other spices, and see how that tastes. I genuinely wonder if it's a good idea, or if it's something that I should stay away from, or if it's something that no one has ever tried, because I am weird. Ramen or Wheeze says, I don't care how anyone lives their life, go for it. Can you play a little something on the key? It's not plugged in. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to settle for a bit of ukulele, or FTFE struggling to have his guitar picked up by the mic. Yeah, obviously everyone here is hearing the same thing that I'm hearing, and it's... Oh, I think
it's just cutting out, which I don't understand.
I think I just hit 200 likes. Oh, by the way, FTFE, be careful with anything, because YouTube, if you play any music that is recognizable as a particular tune, YouTube will pick it up. That's why I'm not going to play Skeleton Appreciation Day, or I Me Myself, or Ferryman, also Ferryman, because Ferryman is like really hard to play. I don't know, like... no, that's not... Yeah, I know that one. Like, that one is on the same... I believe it's on the same album as...
Yeah.
That's all I'm playing. Yeah.
Copyright strikes. There we go.
Yeah, I can play a bit of ukulele. Like, let me try and think of. Okay, I'm gonna just. I'm not gonna sing to this because, again, like copyright stuff. But I'll just play a bit of a New Zealand tune that you might recognize. If you recognize that was the Exponents. I stuffed up a little bit there, but the Exponents. Why does love do this to me?
Nice.
Pepper Dan says, This will be a different take on proof? Yes, it will be, because again, I am not flat, and eventually I will. I've worked out that what my posting isn't going to be. It's not. I did say a long time ago that I'm eventually going to horny post on Twitter, but I realized that it's not horny posting. It's going to be thirst posting. You will all become my simps. Okay. Let me. Oh, Siggy Sigboard said, "Are you planning on continuing your transition on YouTube? How will this change or impact the content of your channel?" That is a good question. Basically, the way that I am going to continue. I am going to talk more about trans issues. I'm also going to not focus so heavily on Flat Earth, but I'm still going to make Flat Earth videos because there's like several videos that I've been wanting to make. Like there's like this programming thing that I've been doing for a while, which became a much larger project than I initially intended it to be. But yeah, that's something I've been working on that I'm going to make a video on. Again, there's the Earth 2 stuff. I want to make a few more interesting videos in that sense. But apart from that, like, it's probably going to impact how I look, mostly, because, I'm going to look fabulous. Mark Smith says, my father had congestive heart disease and was on spiralactone. Yeah, it's I believe it's a thing that stops your body from doing something. I believe it stops your body from consuming so much potassium, which means that I have to watch my potassium intake because too much of that can be a problem. But on my blood tests my most recent blood tests that measured that seemed to be fine. At least it was in the normal range.
I think I see what could possibly be the most important question of this entire stream.
Yes.
You ready for this? How do I make... This is from Aidan Matheson. They ask, how do I make a thermonuclear reactor out of a toaster oven and a DVD of the original Mario movie, the one from 1993? I think that's the most important subject that needs to be addressed, actually.
So what you want to get is you want to get a bathtub and basically you need to place the toaster oven plugged in near the bathtub, right? You also need some rope to tie yourself in the bathtub, play the Mario movie, and basically, have your eyes forced open when watching it, and I believe that's how you create it. The reason why the toaster right next to you is because it's like you're going to be trying to get that toaster in the bathtub with you. That is a joke.
But you have to make sure there's a specific scene. It's the scene when Mario's in the elevator with the Goombas and he starts swaying them side to side. It has to be that scene, otherwise it doesn't work.
I'm going to take your word for it.
I want to watch the Mario movie now.
I saw the Mario movie. It was cool. But that was the most recent one.
It's awesome.
The
original Mario movie is the worst movie ever made.
Here's the thing with the new Mario movie. I enjoyed it, but it was lacking plot. It was just an action fest, really.
Yeah, they didn't need a plot. They just needed Bowser steal Peach.
Yeah,
Mario.
Basically.
Bowser make fire. There we go.
They
just took the plot of every single Mario game and turned it into a movie. That was all.
Janosch says, "What is a Dalek bread?" It's a bread that wants to exterminate.
Yeah, it's the bread that started the Time War. You don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. So, do we have any more questions? Someone says...
No, I think that was all of the questions that I can see. Someone
says, is he saying he's a woman now? Okay, so it's... That is actually a thing that I can probably answer. So, when it comes to the hit, I am fine if anybody wants to call me a woman. I do not feel at all like a man, though, right? I'm even fine calling myself a woman sometimes. So, you know, it really just depends. Like, if you view me as a woman, feel free to call me a woman. Please do not call me a man, because I am just not a man. I've never identified with that label. Even when I identified as cisgender, I still didn't identify really with man. It was like, I'm a guy, but I'm not a man. Because I don't know, there's just something that hasn't really clicked to make me identify with that. So Rocket Couch says, I don't know what ace means. Am I allowed to like garlic bread? Ace is asexual. And they for some reason it's an asexual meme that liking garlic bread is. How do you feel about the term demigirl? That is, you know, if you want to, the thing with gender is that gender is kind of a little bit arbitrary, at least in my opinion. There are some influencing factors based on society and based on neurology and how the brain develops and all that kind of stuff. Those will definitely impact your gender. But like apart from that, like having this masculine feminine distinction is totally arbitrary. There could be like other things that you could distinguish between, like and it's very like if you're brought up in a Western culture, then it becomes very hard to work out like what kind of how you can fit outside of that distinction. And you know, if you want to fit outside of that distinction, then feel free to make that your gender identity. Demigirl, I'm not 100% sure what that means. But you know, I'm fine if anyone wants to identify as demigirl, then that is fine. I have no problem with that. Josh Jackzone says, so how do I explain to my son what a man is? It's honestly, it really comes down to masculinity. You know, a man is someone you can have really masculine people. Although you don't have to be masculine to be a man, you can be a feminine man. That's why I prefer to go off identity, right? Because identity, I think, is something where, firstly, people have gender dysphoria, may have particular reasons for identifying, like Finster, right? Finster doesn't identify as a girl, at least not from what I've heard, but he still identifies. Does he identify as a man, or does he identify as a guy? But yeah, I think it's just identity is really the main thing. And FTFE has been really quiet lately.
Sorry, I'm arguing with flat earthers. Apologies.
Okay. Wait, where are you arguing with flat earthers?
In my comments section, sorry. I saw a notification come through from a douchebag that I wanted to respond to.
Yeah, I'll answer a few super chats. Siggy Sigwald for 666 asses again says, I, for one, very much look forward to see what a trans woman debunking flat earthers is going to do to these guys in the tiny brains. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, it is. I am... Like, I think this... it'll probably take a little bit for the flat earthers to catch on, but I think once flat earthers catch on, I am going to be the laughingstock of the flat earthers. I am fine with that, because, you know, firstly it will show what flat earthers are, really. But like I'm also a lot thicker skinned than a lot of other people. Like I for example, I saw a comment that was deleted from QAnon saying deleted by Clara, saying, so we're all going to pretend that sex change is possible now. And it's like one of the things where I'm okay with discussing these kinds of things, because I'm not I am secure in who I am. So people saying, you think you can change your sex? That kind of thing. It's like, no. Kind of. Not really, though. depends how you define it. If we're defining it from gametes, no. If we're defining it from genitalia, yes. Not going to, or not in the near term though. If we're defining it based on hormones, then yes, and yes, I have changed my hormones. I am comfortable enough to be able to answer those sorts of questions without getting... Because I know a lot of people don't like those sorts of questions because it is meant to try and validate people, but I feel very secure in who I am. I know that as much as people may try to invalidate me, I am still valid. Although that might be because I live in a part of the world which is very trans-affirming compared to a lot of other parts. So it's like I can understand if people aren't quite as willing to discuss those sorts of things. So yeah. Jorgen Lundvist. I butchered the pronunciation for 200 Nokias, says keep up the good work. And thank you. Red Forks for $2 says I'm a bit back, but yay, PPV, same. I'm not sure what PPV stands for. You're going to have to explain. Do we have any more questions?
Chelsea H. I don't know what she says. Why is a cis man hijacking a cis conversation? I don't know what the fuck she's on about.
Chelsea H. Hold on, let me... Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Control F. I'm going to go...
Yeah, I should probably do the same thing. Because I've lost that comment.
So we have...
So I have a very sincere question. How do we challenge these human-made constructions of gender through clothing and performance, yet trans people often embody these same gender signifiers?
Yeah, so that is a when asked earnestly, that is a good question. It's one of them things where I think it's one of those things where in our current culture there are genders. I would like to abolish gender, right? And everyone can just be who they are. And but in our current culture, there is gender exists. So we still have. There will still be gender expectations, gender stereotypes, and yes, some of them can be harmful. I want to make a video about harmful gender stereotypes like toxic masculinity. I think it's one of those things where the best way is to deconstruct and say you don't have to do this, but you can if you want. And over time, hopefully, things can change to a point where every gender can do what they want, and gender essentially becomes this thing which may end up being meaningless, or it may take on a completely new form that is not harmful. The most harmful thing I think about gender really is just trying to tie it to someone's sex. That is when gender becomes harmful. I see.
Hugh Jarsz says that he identifies as a planetoid. Come on, Hugh. You passed the mass of a planetoid a while ago, dude. You are now known as a Barry Center, okay? Come on. You know I love you, bud.
Yeah. I mean, Hugh Jarsz is proof that fat people are attractive.
Yeah, he's evidence of the potato radius being a thing. I'm sorry, Hugh. I'm sorry. As someone who's recently lost a bunch of weight, I'm allowed to make these jokes.
I see Spins says, plan a walk, be who you are, you're a good person, that's what matters. Yeah, and that... Also, another...
I might as well get this out, you know, everyone's talking about being who they are, and I might as well tell everyone that the truth is that I'm Batman.
Siggy Sigwald for 666 asses says, well, plan a walk if it ever gets rough, lean on your community. We may not be trans, but I'm willing to say we're all allies here. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I think it's. I think like I know that everyone here is supportive. Well, most people here are supportive, right? There will be people that are going to be dickheads, and
what is a dickhead?
And all I can really say to the dickheads and the Matt Walshes of the world is, as I said, go fuck yourself. If you're someone that is just here to troll, it's a really sad life that you've got nothing better to do. Like Matt Walsh, if he wasn't so, if he wasn't propped up by right-wing figureheads, then he would just be a sad existence. Really, unfortunately, people try to give him legitimacy. Sorry,
your chat's funny. Mike Duffy says that if Hugh Jarsz identifies as anything larger, he's going to develop a Schwarzschild radius. Oh, that's mean.
Yeah. One of the things I actually do want to talk about eventually is fat phobia, because it is something that I find that it is a very tough discussion to have. So it's going to be something that I'm going to have to look into a fair amount, because it is because there is genuine fat phobia out there that is obviously mean towards fat people, especially fat women. If you're a fat man, then you have people crack jokes. The jokes won't be aimed at you. They'll be made alongside you, sort of thing. But if you're a fat woman, then you often, and that's one of the harmful gender stereotypes, right? That it's okay for men to be fat, but not for women to be fat. So yeah. That is one thing I want to talk about eventually. Although that's easy for me to talk about being skinny. I may gain weight though. I am gaining weight. It's just here. I see spin for.
Oh, Hugh just says the fat phobia is a huge issue. It weighs heavily on him.
I see spin for 199 says, and be meaner to people like Craig.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, we'll have to start calling you Colonel Greg again.
Colonel Greg.
I have forgotten where that came from.
JM Truth said, in one email, managed to misspell my name several different times. And tried to make fun of me being in the Navy by calling me a colonel, but spelled with a K.
Okay.
And you don't even have colonels in the Navy. That's like an army designation. So JM Truth manages to fail 9 times in one email. Brilliant, good job.
JM Truth is the sort of person that the text to speech. He is the person that should probably use text to speach. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god, he's not doing flat earth stuff anymore. He's been focusing heavily on his film production stuff, and I've been watching some of it, and oh my god, he did 2 music videos for this rapper guy, and throughout those 2 videos there was 27 spelling mistakes, and this is professional videos that someone's paid him for.
Yeah, here's the thing. I have, I make spelling mistakes all the time. In fact, I posted a tweet a while back that had a mistake in it, and that tweet got I was scrolling through YouTube, and that tweet came up on as a post on YouTube. I was like, damn it, because people were making fun of the spelling or the mistake in it, and it's like
no.
And it was a tweet about how YouTube, you're not a real YouTuber until you have an editor in your basement, or something like that. And I think Josh Strife Hayes tagged Visa. Because there is a joke with so many YouTubers that they've got editors or whatever in their basement, and it's just like, yeah, you're basically you're only really a YouTuber when you've got someone in your basement, whether it be Red's rhetoric or.
I am trying to find someone that I can keep in my basement. I mean, not necessarily to edit, just because I want someone in my basement.
Didn't you have Red's rhetoric in your basement?
I'm not going to tell you the reasons why. If I want someone in my basement, that's my business. Okay, stop questioning me.
Didn't you have Red's rhetoric in your basement, or is that?
Forgot to feed him. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I know that at one point you were considering, keeping me in the basement, but I just kept on coming in, and it's like you wanted me to leave.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, I'm going to keep Planet Walk in the basement, but instead you just kept like turning up in my front room, and like I'd wake up in the morning, you were just standing at the end of my bed, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to kidnap you anymore. Can you just go?
Okay, Siggy Sigwald for the last 666 houses says, last thing I swear, will you comment a bit on how difficult it is to transition on your country? How are the laws? How about medical expenses? See you on Twitter. That is a good question. Okay. Let me talk about that. So, there is a problem with the New Zealand. There are problems with. I shouldn't just say a problem. There are problems with the New Zealand transition process. So, when it comes to getting estrogen, when I was getting estrogen, it took me ages to hear back from the for going to the psychiatric evaluation. I got a letter in the mail. Hell, I thought I'd receive an email, and it was just a letter in the mail, which I could have missed. Fortunately, I didn't. And so it was like on June 6th, I believe, I had to go to the hospital, and. So, which actually it worked out. That worked out brilliantly, but it could have easily missed. So, need to digitize things a bit more, I'd say. And on that front, I think someone else I know had something similar happen to them. So yeah, that was a thing. But then also there was I've also got a friend who. It took them ages to hear back. I don't even know if they've heard back from their GP or from anyone about starting estrogen, or about going in to get a psychiatric evaluation. So they're actually considering, or they may have even started. I haven't seen them in a while. But last I talked to them, they were considering self-medicating, and I think. I personally, it's okay for people to want to self-medicate. That is fine. I personally think that it is better for people to go through the legal channels generally, so that they can keep a tab on their blood, keep a tab on hormone levels. And understand if they need medical help or if things aren't working for them. I think that would be better than self-medication, and that is a failure not on. It's not a failure on doctors trying to rush people to transition or anything. It's a failure on gatekeeping trans medical care so much that people feel the need to self-medicate. I'm trying to remember there was another issue. One of the things that also makes me hesitant to get any kind of bottom surgery is the fact that bottom surgery in New Zealand, there's like 15 of them approved a year. Ooh. I think last year there was 7 done. So I'd much rather that go to someone who has bottom dysphoria rather than myself. If I'm ever going to go down that road, I'm probably just going to get a whole lot of money, do some kind of fundraiser, or if I've got more money by then, and go to Thailand or something, or at least go private, and hopefully get the best sort of thing for that. That is something that, people, unfortunately, and there's probably other reasons aside from, there's probably other reasons for why there was only 7 last year. That is a big issue. There's also a problem with, same for top surgery, if you're a trans man who wants to get a mastectomy. The requirements there, I saw Cops Hate Mo. They were wanting to get a top surgery, and they met like 4 out of 5 of the things, and they weren't shortlisted for it because there was just not enough space on the list. As Devixa said, it comes down to funding. It also comes down to the amount of people willing to do that. But fortunately, hopefully, we can steal all the doctors from the UK.
No, they're mine. You can't have them. The Rocket Couch says, so how do we know this isn't Planawalk just trying to be on the winning side when Lilith the Spider Queen tries to take over? I don't think he understands what you're transitioning to.
Abella says, do you know of any health concerns with HRT decades down the road? How long can you or will you take it? Thank you. So the main health complications that you can get is, or at least that I know of, I can't remember all of them. It was a list of things. There is a concern that breast cancer may end up, there's an increased risk of breast cancer. I think there's also an increased risk of certain other things. I know that I've got to keep track of my liver. Apparently they had apparently there was something that was too high there, but I started changing to putting my estrogen under the tongue and just sort of leaving it there for a while. In fact, I thought I had forgotten. This morning I woke up and I was like, wait, did I take my estrogen? It's like, yes, I did. I remember it woke me up. And I actually remember it was 6:30 that I take my estrogen. And I was like, wait, 6:30. I was supposed to do a stream at 6. Oh wait, this. Oh no. It's not the morning. That's why my alarm went off. Another thing with spironolactone is that I haven't really noticed it too much, but I mean, I've been taking it for ages, so I don't remember what it's like before, but apparently that makes you want to pee a lot more. So that's just a warning for anyone that wants to go out in public anymore, and also wants to transition to being a woman. Here's something I want to talk about just real quick. Josh Jack Zone says, if I don't fully understand, then how are children supposed... Wait, no, it was something else. Well, I'll respond to that anyway, because I think that... So, when it comes to children, I do understand that people want to protect children and want to, you want to let kids be kids. You don't want to them to regret, undergo medical care and then later regret it, right? Nobody wants that. Trans people don't want that. Cis people don't want that. We're all in agreement. The difference is how we approach it. I think, because here's the thing. A lot of people say kids can't consent to hormone blockers or to HRT. I would counter that with they can't consent to puberty either. We just sort of accept that. People just sort of accept that, puberty is a natural thing, so therefore, just let them go through the puberty, don't try to interfere with it. I disagree. I think that if the thought of going through a puberty is that distressing to a child that they want to, at the very least, hold off on it, then it's something that we should intervene there. That's why I am all for using puberty blockers. Because puberty blockers, that's not a thing where it's like, oh, they need to be able to consent to life-altering decisions. Puberty blockers aren't a life-altering decision. Yes, they can have certain effects on things like bone density if you're used for long enough. However, we monitor bone density when it comes to, I talk about we as if I'm part of the medical field, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's monitored. Your doctor will monitor your bone density. If there's an issue with you being on puberty blockers and monitoring of bone density, they will say, okay, maybe you should stop puberty blockers and we'll work out what to go. The whole idea behind puberty blockers is to give people more time to decide if they want to transition or not. The reason being is because if it's something like a year, let's say it's been 2 months, and since you're deciding, okay, I want to start, I want to be trans, and the doctor will go, okay, well, we're not sure if that's what you really want, so we'll put you on puberty blockers, give you a bit more time to make sure that this is right for you. Then if you're fine with that and you're still wanting to do that after 2 years, I think it's somewhere between 2 and 3 years, then you can go on HRT. That is what the process should be, in my opinion. Also with the whole, I think it's okay to somewhat gatekeep it for gender dysphoria in youth. When you get to an adult, you can do whatever you want. You can do as an adult. It is your body, your choice. Do whatever you want, as long as whatever you're doing doesn't impede your ability to carry out daily tasks. So that means no chopping your arms off. But if you want to chop your dick off, that's fine.
I am going to have to go in about 5 minutes, Bud. Is that all right?
Yeah. I am I have actually gotten my voice back, but my voice was failing at one point.
It's improved over the stream.
Yeah, and the support that I've had, like hell, chat revenue that is coming up is like $600 and something New Zealand.
Boom.
That should be enough for a decent camera. I do need. What camera are you using, Fight?
I've got a Logitech webcam. I can't remember the exact one, but it was like 300 quid. Okay, I would. Which is about what you just made in super chats.
Yeah, I'll probably shop around. I want to get one that can work in low light, because as you may have noticed behind me here, let me try to make sure that you can see it.
Computer, turn off all the lights. This one does alright in low light. Yeah,
it's very grainy though. Like I can see a lot of grain around the edges of the but like as you can see, there's these things here which when you get to the light up here, it's very much very difficult to. James Hogarth says, how long have you had your I'm going to say blahage, to the annoyance of every Swedish person, says, how long have you had your blahage for, and were you really questioning when you bought them? Mate, I had gone to the I wasn't on hormones when I got them. It was actually last year when I was over in America. I went to an IKEA specifically so I could get a blahage, and I ended up with 2 of them because they were selling small ones. I was wanting to get 2 big ones, but they probably wouldn't have both fit in my suitcase. But yeah, I had it since what was it, October? October last year. I had gone through the psych evaluation. It was, if you're wanting to know the date that I started hormones, it was the 13th of December. Icy Spin says, did you do puberty blockers? If not, would you have? No, I have not, and because I'm not going through puberty. Oh, well, I am going through puberty now, but I finished puberty before going through my second puberty, so before I came out. So I very much puberty blockers were kind of pointless in that regard. So if I could go back, would I have done puberty blockers? Like if I were forced to relive my teenage years, would have I don't know. Maybe. That is a difficult question that I'm not sure. Because one of the things I would definitely transition earlier if I could go back, because this receding hairline, no, but I just saw Clara Microraptor said, you already had puberty, yeah, but what about second puberty? Yeah, that's what I'm going through right now, second puberty. Yeah, so do we have any last minute questions that are coming? Bring in Simon Dan. I don't
think I've seen any other questions. It is literally just an outpouring of love and support, which is amazing. And I do need to get off. I've got a few things I need to sort out. But before I go, I do want to say that I'm extremely proud of you, Plan a Walk. Seeing you be who you are is an awesome thing, and it takes a lot of bravery to do what you've done in such a public forum. So I am proud of my little Plan a Walk.
I have several. Seems like I have several people trying to claim, trying to. I just thought of a way to play. I have several people who wish they were my daddy.
Yeah. We're all your dad.
No, I said daddy.
All right, okay. I don't know if I want to be your daddy, to be fair.
I generally don't swing that way. So don't.
I'm going to drop out and let you finish up with your supporters. Yeah, thanks for having me come on and help look after the stream for you. I think you've done great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll sort of try to wrap things up, and yeah, this was a great stream, and thank you for coming along to help me.
No worries, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good luck with finishing up, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.
All right, take care. I can bring the thing. I can see myself in the viewport and see how things are going. On the chat, because like I have the chat here, and I have it. Like I had a trans flag behind it that's sort of faded. So yeah. So yeah. What I'm glad about is that my internet has been good enough to support this. So I don't know how to sort of wrap this up. Firstly, thank you IC Spin for the US $1.99. Admirable to say the least, especially fighting flirts. I'm not sentencing too well anymore. But yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, I will don't worry, I will continue fighting the FTFE left, but I will continue to fight the flat Earth. But yeah, what else was I going to say? Yeah, as for like what's next, when it comes to my or where do we go from here? It's I don't know. It is hard to. There will be more Nigel Cheesy Hands, that's for certain. I have a few. I do want to revisit Nigel. I'm wondering how this will affect the people that watch my content, because obviously I am still buzzing over the fact that Zoe B showed up. Like I saw that and I was like, wait, is that clicked on go to channel. Yes, it was the real Zoe B. So that was wild. Oh yeah, I have the trans flag behind the chat because I actually got the inspiration here from Xander Hall. I don't know when Xander. I'll probably show up to Xander Hall next time he goes live, and because I actually had an alt account on Xander Hall's chat, and it was called Gender Fluid. So if any of you watch Xander Hall and if you've seen a person called Gender Fluids, that was me. I also got Xander Hall to watch Ben Shapiro play Minecraft a second time. That was fun. Silly Christy for $1 just throwing money at me. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know where we go from here. It's because obviously the flat Earth stuff still does well. I'm not sure if it's because Dave McKeegan has been doing well for flat Earth, or because I have just clickbaited the hell out of my titles. Which, I mean, yeah, that's a legitimate way to do it. But yeah, I think it's a question of like, where do I go? Obviously, I've lost a few subscribers from this. I expected to lose subscribers from this. It's just a consequence, but I'm gonna be happier now. Also, talking about trans issues as a trans person now. Also, the what's a woman thing? Yes, I'm going to be covering that again because that made a comeback, at least on Twitter. So it's like, that's part 2 is coming. Icy Spin says soft-sit quartz fails are legit. Yeah, I never really got into the whole I never really got into the whole, because I remember the First Amendment auditors was a big thing. I never really got into that. I do know of one sovereign citizen. But Scotty Storm, but he's on BitChute or something. Yeah, I'm not going to stop debunking flirfs because, you know, they are a source of entertainment as much as they can get boring at times. Did you make your gender fluids account profile picture be Omega from Final Fantasy 14? I never played Final Fantasy 14, although when I get a new PC, I might get around to. I want to play Kerbal Space Program. That is what I want to play. Why not go after conspiracy theory as a mental disorder? That is actually something that I thought about recently, because I've noticed that a lot of the woo stuff sort of preys on people that are mentally unwell. I met someone who, and I didn't tell them my YouTube channel because they were crazy, but I met someone who was and who was legitimately schizophrenic. So yes, they had a mental illness, and they were, when I say crazy, I mean they were really into woo stuff. And I think a lot of the woo stuff does prey on these sorts of people that are mentally unwell. It sort of feeds into a lot of the delusions that they have, right? And so I feel like, in a way, it takes advantage of them, so it does need to be stream Kerbal Space Program I'd watch. I might. It might be fun. I want to get... Actually, here's a good way to end up the stream. So please do not... I mean this when I say please... God damn it. I was going to say, do not send any more super chats, but then, right as I'm about to say that, Silly Christy for $10 says, how did you grow out your hair so fast? Looking at some of your own videos, your hair is so short, and then 3 years later, it's longer than my hair after 7 years. I don't know, it just grew. genetics, maybe? My mum's hair is a lot longer than mine. Are you going to cover controversy around nominal Naomi and their breastfeeding their kid? Oh, that might be something to cover. Because, yeah, there's been, like, this whole thing where, like, the right wing up... Why the fuck are they going over, like, the most... The shit that they don't understand, clearly. Like stuff like someone breastfeeding their kid, like they don't understand. Like, it's the same stuff as milk. They are just like they say that, you know, trans people are just denying biology. No, they are. They're so into their ideology that they are denying the biology of trans people. Like, they think that it's some chemical thing. Like, obviously it's chemicals, but like it's some it has hormones and stuff, and it's like it's just like they are in their pursuit of being so-called adhering to biology. They are denying the biology behind this stuff, and it's like, what the fuck? I would have at least some respect for them if they were to, at the very least, acknowledge biological truths about trans people rather than trying to paint it as some kind of, I don't know. Soldier Girl says, remember, every right-wing accusation is a confession, and that is not hyperbole. Oh yeah, you got Matt Walsh, don't you? I see Spin for 199 says, reverse psychology not working here. LK for $5 says, meow meow. Thank you. I do appreciate all the super chats. Please no more. I do want to actually end up the stream. What was I going to say? Oh yes, the next path that I need to go on. And I'm going to go to my doctor because I've got like 1 month of estrogen left. So at the next doctor's visit, I am going to try and try to get on some medication for ADHD. It has been something that I've been wanting to do for ages. I think that's the next step that I should go down, is trying to basically try to help find something to deal with that, which will allow me to make videos a lot, streamline that production process. And if it's something that doesn't work for me, then I'll just, you know, I'll just stop if it doesn't work for me. But it's something that I do need to at least consider, and it's something because, like, you've seen me speak throughout this video. There's a lot of ums and ahs. I try to speak coherently to a point where I can... No more super chats, please. Although, thank you. I need to say thank you for the $10, but like, no more super chats, please. Like, I'm being serious. Plan a walk on your stream when you'd be a parent. Please make it happen. Invite me on Canoe's stream. Please, I would love to be able to talk to... I barely know anything about Canoe, but I have watched a couple of their videos. I can't remember the last one I watched. It was a while back, but like I don't know a lot about Canoe. You know, doesn't Canoe have... I don't want to say... I don't want to say anything mean about Canoe, obviously, but I do know that their voice is deep, is fairly deep, you know. I don't know if they've tried voice training. I need to try voice training, but, you know, props to anyone that, you know, is fine with their voice, how it is, and, you know, does that, because, as I said, I'd like to try to break the all these gender stereotypes. And MB sent a super chat saying, "Oops, sent one," and Silly Christie sent one for $1. So yeah, that is what we're gonna end on. We are going to end on. Please reach out. Look. If you want to see me collaborate with someone, I love doing. I just saw I'm just going to address the thing from Little Stinky saying you're a dude. Like, no. Stay mad, Little Stinky. Yeah, if you want to see me collaborate with someone, reach out to them. Because I do not like reaching out to people that are bigger than me. Wouldn't it be better talking to a psychiatrist before getting drugs for ADHD? Or that's why I'm going to go into my doctor, because there is a process that is going to take ages, probably maybe even longer than going on hormones. So next time I'm at my doctor's, I'm going to say, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So if you want to see me collaborate with someone, reach out to them. Because I do not like reaching out to people. Oh yeah, I'd love to collaborate with Transatlantic Call-In Show. That's with Katie Montgomery, right? I would love to collaborate with Katie Montgomery. I didn't ask her enough questions when she was on Creaky's stream. Little Stinky. Yes, I can. Have you not heard of girl dick? It's a very different thing to guy dick. And besides, would you call a trans? You're probably the type that would call a trans man a woman, so you probably don't. And trans men can have dick. Is your maybe your criteria is you've got to go through bottom surgery. Anyway, Hell Sparks interviewed. Yeah, fine. Like I would love to. I want to get to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I should. I am going to be appearing on The Skeptic. So sometime soon, that will be talking about our favourite Matt bigot called Matt Powell. So yeah. Anyway, we are going to be ending up the stream. No more super chats, please. Yeah. Anyway, take care. You're all valid. Yes, even you transphobes, you're all valid in who you are. Just, I wish you would be. I wish you'd be. What's the term? Secure. I wish you'd be secure. Anyway, I am secure. Everyone be secure. And there we go. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Between you and me, thank you for watching. just as a small after credits scene thing with people that are still here. What was I going to say? I was going to either say something about the... I forgot what I was going to say. I am terrible with that. Here's a bit of ukulele.